There's something else I was going to put in the title, but I didn't because it was too much. So hopefully my mother's not watching. I'm about to read to y'all some Rick Zilla, Jules Tells All erotica. And it took me probably an hour to write this. From input from both people, because Rick was offended that his erotica was not tasteful, and I asked him what tasteful was in his mind for erotica, and he mentioned the lusty Argonian maid. And if you know anything about Elder Scrolls, you know what the lusty Argonian maid is, and it's an entire, it's a short story filled with innuendo. It has nothing to do with erotica. But he said he was kidding, and he offered me what he preferred and his erotica, because evidently mine was too vulgar. Imagine two people actually having sex. So his erotica is his choice of erotica includes hot candle wax dripping all over a woman's naked body. Has to be set in a cathedral with plague doctor mask and a feather. Jules, on the other hand, asked for her input, which was much easier, and calling the guy daddy, hair pulling, rough talk, and doggy style. Again, when this whole thing, you can probably figure out who's, even without me telling you, could probably surmise who chose what. So I'll wait for at least 16 people in chat. At least 16 people, and I'll read it. At least 16 people. At least 16. Actually, let me get the whole thing. There we go. God, I didn't realize I wrote this much. Okay. I should probably plug in the charger. Going right up the street. There's 30. I know there's 36 of them. I was fucking around. Gman needs at least 17 people to watch his shit, which is sad, honestly. So somebody with a channel that size, he can barely get 20 people watching within the first 2 minutes. Whew. Doesn't bode well. Anyway. It's a late Friday night, and Jules has a meeting at St. Richard's Cathedral. It's been a long day at work, and her hands have fatigued from making dozens of confectionery dishes. On the ride there, she could only think of satisfying an itch that hadn't been scratched in weeks. Upon arrival, she was met by a deacon, Rick, who greeted her warmly. "Welcome, my child." Jules smiled half-hearted and entered the spacious room. She had never been in a church this size, but it didn't deter her from what she wanted. Her knees felt slightly weak as Rick led her to the confessional booth. He instructed her to go into her side, and the two parted. Inside smelled of old cedar and a hint of musk, like an old man's trunk. Rick pulled the window inside open and asked Jules to recite her sins. I should spell check this shit. "I've sinned, Daddy. I've been thinking about carnal pleasures for weeks on end." Rick coughed and corrected her with "Father." Rick says, "Pray to our Savior, Christos Chanus, and be forgiven." Jules complies and exits the booth. Rick, Jesus, I really do need to spell check this. Reclining on the nearest pew, Jules inquires as to what's going on. Rick hands her a small bag. "So we doing this?" Rick nods assuredly and motions her to change. Jules returns, donning a bird-like plague mask and a leather harness, her breasts exposed. She feels a chill which both excites and chills her being. I should probably not write this when I'm sleepy. Rick is wearing a similar mask, but has a large black robe to match, and is holding 2 red candlesticks. "Oh, Father, what are you going to do to me?" Rick points to the table and says, "Christian demands it." Jules bends over the table and Rick rubs his manhood against her warm, delicate posterior, which begins to moisten her loins. Rick places the candles down momentarily and places a hand on Jules' right butt cheek to spread open and expose her quivering labia. He inserts his penis and begins to flail violently. Father, pull my hair. Rick grabs a small clump of long black hair and yanks it back with vigor. Jules clenches her insides and moistens as each stroke exits her now pulsating nether regions. Jules feels her knees weakening with each thrust as Rick's uncoordinated movements continue behind her. But somehow this display is enough to sate the itch she had been feeling for weeks. Jules falls to the floor, clearly exhausted from the flesh experience of having been penetrated after so long. Rick, however, has an odd look in his eye and went towards the red candles. To be continued. Anyway, let's go get some coffee. I ain't spilled shit, by the way. I was typing it on my phone like 10 o'clock last night. Yeah, after I cleaned that, because I had no idea all the fucking spelling mistakes. I'm noticing it now once it's all in, because I sent it in chunks, so I didn't check the spelling and on my phone. Once that cleaning up a bit. But shit, as I talk with other people, they fucking English, check my shit. Yeah, no, Jules was into like normal shit, hair pulling, doggy style, wanting to be pinned. Like that was Jules shit. I was like, okay, cool. All the weird candle, I say weird, the candle wax and the plague mask and the cathedral, that's all Rick. All that, the setting, I was like, all right, well, I'll just put in some normal stuff that someone could possibly fap to, and then put in all of Rick's weird shit that he probably wants to do with Anna Kendrick. So that's what we'll do. And of course, I had to throw in Chris Chan. Electric nipple clamps. I just even start with Rick and Jules. Well, Jules was horny and Rick was available. That's how it happened. That's how most sexual encounters happen. That I later regretted. I like to think. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. Actually, I wouldn't know. So. That was actually pretty fun to write. Damn, this water still hasn't cleared. Now that I have my computer back, I'm gonna play something fun. Especially for some of the newer viewers who don't know a lot about Gman's history. I think it'll be fun. How often do you get to hear from people who have actually hung out with the guy for an extended period of time in real life? Oh, it's gonna be fun. Oh, read and drive. Yeah, no, I'm waiting until I get to the line's back here, my man. What's going on? I'm waiting until I get to like stop signs and shit. Shit, where am I? I'm going to. Yeah, I'm at Dunkin' Donuts. I'll go out and I'll get coffee, and then when I don't have the car, I'll use the coffee that I clearly have in the kitchen. That is the thumbnail. So. Aren't too many people out today. You know, I bet she has this fucking seat. fix the seat. All right. Oh, it's going to be interesting if you've not seen this video. Some people might not know that a few individuals actually hung out with Gman in real life. I've met the guy once and spent maybe 8 hours with him. His concept of time and space and literally anything is weird. You meet someone before noon, and then when you depart, it's nighttime. That's more than 3 hours, but okay. So, I mean, we spent like fucking 3 hours in the museum alone, and so somehow he thinks that. But what's the interesting part is that he's so unaware of his surroundings and what's going on that he had no clue about much of anything that was going on, even though it was laid out for him several days ahead of time. And it's just even like you've seen people in New York walk across the street. People are sort of going with the flow of traffic. They're sort of looking left and right. This guy's like bebopping, looking every other direction other than like the flow of traffic and where the cars are coming. Like it's like, you've been in New York before? Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. This thing a child. But there are two people that I've known for a few years. One is Hana and the other is Nate the lawyer. Some of y'all who have seen his YouTube channel, he's a YouTuber, lawyer, and there's something else on there too. Nerd, there we go. So Nate treated this guy like a surrogate brother, which Gman pretty much was a surrogate brother. And if you don't know a whole lot about Gman as a person, and you guessed that he's just uses people because you have money and a stable job and stuff like that, you'd be right. That's exactly what the fuck he does. And so you're going to hear from Nate. You're also going to hear from Hana, who doesn't have the means. Well, most of us don't have the means and the fucking income that Nate does, but shit. Even Hana provided for this guy. And it's not one of those, situations like with Rev News where he meets somebody and the first thing that he does is throw money at him to use it as leverage later. This is when, hey, you want to hang out, but then you don't have the money to go hang out and do the stuff that you want to do. So why would you try and get people together to do stuff and then just expect them to always pay for you? Right? That's a little suspect, but we all know people like that. That's Gman. That's him. So he comes to New York, knows that this has been planned for a while, and for some reason didn't have money to pay for lunch at the barbecue place. So somebody else paid for him, which was JD Kane, and he purposely got the most expensive thing on the menu because he has no home training. And towards the end, he accused everyone for stealing his phone. Now, what ended up actually happening was that he put his phone down, and as the people were policing the area and bringing the stuff up back to the hotel room, because we were staying in a hotel, his stuff got scooped up accidentally. That's what actually happened. But why he put his phone down in somebody else's personal effects, your guess is as good as mine. But again, that's what a child does. I have no idea why he couldn't keep his fucking phone in his pocket. He had a nasty leather jacket that smelled like fucking old Cheetos and had plenty of pockets. And he had pants with pockets. Why would you set it down? Anyway, so it was an okay day. It was all right, given the person that we were with. But the whole mood was ruined at the end when he accused not only everybody there, but like the staff of the hotel for being in some kind of plot. Like, he actually is like this in real life. Like, he is he constantly thinks that people are trying to come and kill him, and he thinks that that's normal. He actually thinks that that's what regular ass people think. So I'm like, no, that's just you and your dumb ass. But you can't convince. You can't tell somebody that their way of thinking is just assed out. It's just completely wrong when that's the only thing that they've known their entire life. How else was he supposed to run around the hotel like a 5-year-old? Yes, CJ is right. And we actually have video of him running around the hotel like a 5-year-old. One of the managers there on the night staff had to actually come down and tell us that, hey, you might be asked to leave if he doesn't quiet down. So, and Shadow Tigger Gaming in the chat was one of the people who was also there that can corroborate all this shit, and as well as the video evidence of us going live on YouTube and him behaving this way. Like he's a fucking child, an absolute fucking child. And you're gonna hear Nate talk about that. It's just childishness. God damn it, I forgot my wife wanted. Fuck. Hold on.
Good morning, Canada.
Alright, can I have a medium hot cocoa?
Ice?
No, just regular hot cocoa.
Okay.
2 hash browns.
Okay.
1 bacon wake up wrap.
Okay.
And a regular caramel coconut iced coffee with cream and sugar.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
You can do it. Thank you.
Thank you. I remembered what she wanted because I see the text message now. But it's pretty fucking funny to hear. No, I don't think he'd ever been in a hotel before. I don't think he actually ever stayed in Italy. I mean, it was like a Hilton over in Queens. I mean, it wasn't. I think it was a Hilton. I could be wrong. I want to say it was a Hilton that we stayed over in Queens. But it was okay. But you could tell, like when he walked in like it was a goddamn Smithsonian. That's not healthy breakfast. The only thing on that for me is the iced coffee, and it is not healthy. Absolutely not. I agree. The way he talks to people, he has valid reason for the paranoia. I wouldn't be surprised if he could go to certain areas of the community because of the way he acts. You know what? That's a good point. But was it Best Western? Okay, Best Western. I'm gonna take your word for it, man. I was intoxicated most of the time. But to the point that him talking to people a certain way, from what I've learned about his actual life, he talks to people crazy like he does on the internet, but then there are individuals in his life to tell people that he's not all there. I'll say that.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. How are you? 9:34.
Thank you. I think the issue. Awesome. Hell yeah. Awesome.
Have a great day.
You too. Oh, smelling that bacon wake-up wrap 911. So the issue is, I don't think that he's actually faced any like when I talk shit in high school, middle school, and any of that kind of scenario, I got my ass beat. All right, I didn't have anybody there to take up for me. I just caught ass whoopings. I don't think he's had that in his life. I mean, but it kind of shows you. It's like I give you a perfect example. Emo's never probably caught a good ass whooping. All the shit that he talks. A lot of these cats. I don't think Shani's had her fucking head bashed in the fucking locker before. Maybe not. I don't know. But I wouldn't think so. Because once you have those type of experiences, you learn who to talk to, who not to talk to. I absolutely speak recklessly, but not to anybody. Not just anybody. Lights broke. My turn. Oh. But it's gonna be entertaining. Very entertaining. If you've never watched it, and I want to preface what you're about to hear is these people had spent time with Gman in real life, not for a few months, not for a few weeks, for a few years. I want to say 2 or 3 years. They would occasionally meet up with him every other weekend and go to a movie, go ice skating, go, regular people shit. They're trying to treat him like a human being. But when I would hear about this, and I'm like, I'm like, yeah, it's like y'all got a fucking pet. That's not an adult. That's not a friend that you're hanging out. Y'all are taking a pet out to a fucking dog. You're taking your dog out to a dog park. That's what it's akin to hanging out with Gman. Taking a dog to a dog park. And I mean, he can be mad at that, but when you behave as such, I mean, it sticks. Probably been in more physical fights. Probably. I wouldn't doubt it. I pay money to see somebody, like somebody from her past. Yeah, we used to whoop that bitch ass. She used to start talking that shit, making stuff, and I would beat the brakes off that bitch. I love, but then again, I was actually thinking about doing something funny. Well, for like in my life, like having my buddy Matt Maselli come on. People ask him, "I wasn't living with drag years ago." He'll tell you some funny stories. See, Floyd just mirrored a video. Oh. Woo! I left my car door open. Fucking gnat got in here. It's bothering me. I'm trying to convince it to get out. So when I get back, we go live and have a little watch party. Mrs. Drag didn't want to come along for the ride because she's tired. So I'm getting her breakfast. Let's see if I can get her a massage later. Me and her a massage. Let's see. Let's see what's open. We shall see. Still Black Friday weekend. Got some extended hours. Half off massage. I don't know. No idea. I need to wash my lab coat. I got fucking lab tomorrow. There's something else I was gonna tell y'all about. Forgot. Whatever. Tell your friends. This is one of my favorite Gman streams because he gets his, like, towards the end of it when Hannah and Nate are just going in on him and they're not. Oh, what did you miss? Oh, you missed a lot, Jules. You could tell that he's about to, like, he's on the edge of crying because Nate and Hannah aren't making up anything. They're being fucking specific with like detailed scenarios of what it was like having to deal with him and all these different events, this, going here, going there, the time frame, how much money it cost. Like it's little different things that they're just recalling, and he can't say shit, but all he can do is just make up stuff about them, and you'll notice it. There's videos of him crying when he got kicked out of Shield Squad. If you go back to that video, he's crying. There's another video that he uploaded like around that scenario that it sounds like he lost his voice. That's because he had been screaming on the phone, and the only reason I know this is because I called the person that he was talking to, Gman, and Gman was like, "You're not gonna scream at me, bro," at all. Again, I've met Gman in real life. He's not that guy. He's not the guy to be yelling at. I mean, just saying. But yeah, there's a few videos with Gman's crying, and they're wonderful. I fucking beat my dick to it. So this one, yes. Oh, you seen Gman? Yes. Yeah, he cried. There he goes. 2-4 Warner Biz before you're reading Rick Rodica without me. Hey, you get the notification. I put the Rick Rodica out there. You already knew. You the first one to know. All right. So let's go and do this thing.